won't get away with this.
What are you going to do? Kill me?
Don't be so certain I wouldn't.
Unless I sign this paper.
You signed the other one.
What other one?
You know very well.
Strange. I don't remember signing any other paper.
But you signed the other one here in this very room this morning.
Show it to me. I'm beginning to understand a little more about business matters. And I certainly would never sign another paper for you. Because if I did, I'd be signing my own death warrant. As your first wife did.
Who told you such nonsense? Your troublemaking son or your new friend, Irene Hatter?
I'm beginning to realize there's many things about you I should have had investigated before we were married.
Sylvia Carlton died peacefully in her bed. There is no evidence to the contrary.
Oh, I'm sure there'd be no evidence if I died suddenly some night either. But I don't intend to die peacefully or otherwise.
I want to know how you found out about her death.
Yes, I know you do, and I'm not going to tell you.
If you value your safety, you'll keep those opinions to yourself.
Well, surely if you're innocent, you've nothing to fear.
You can't prove anything.
I think I could prove my suspicions easier than you can prove your accusations about Jean-Paul. Shall I hire private detectives to have you investigated? Shall I have your bank statements checked? Your insurance looked into?
That would cost a great deal of money.
Well, I'm sure if I mentioned it to Jean-Paul, he'd be very pleased to pay for it.
All right, you win.
Now, you're going to go to Jean-Paul, and you're going to tell him that you made a mistake, that your accusations were baseless.
If you insist.
I do insist. And then I'm going to call my lawyer, and this time, Laszlo, you're going to sign a paper for me.
What kind of paper?
Stating that whatever happens to me, you have no claim on my estate or courts.
You can't get rid of me that easily.
I didn't say I wanted to. Yet.
That is what started the Desmond curse.
Is that why you took it from my briefcase when I first brought it here?
I only wanted to see if I recognized it.
Did you?
I couldn't read it, but I recognized the mark on it.
It's written in Latin, backwards.
Well, I'm not an educated woman like you. I cannot read Latin.
The words don't make any sense. I've tried to figure them out again and again. They must be written in code.
Someone must have the key to the code.
Perhaps that's why Mr. Desmond asked to see it.
Doesn't seem to be any signatures on it. Nothing to signify the parties involved.
I know. I've been over it numerous times.
It may be that the signs are the signatures. Not everyone could write back in those days, not even noblemen.
How could you know that? An uneducated woman like you?
I know because...
Raxel, what is your connection with this document?
Don't ask me that, I beg you.
You've known the secret of the Desmond curse all along, and you refuse to disclose it.
I cannot, on pain of death.
Well, we're not leaving this room until you do.
Laszlo promised to retract his statements about you.
Well, how did you accomplish that?
I have my little secrets, too. Jean-Paul, if I needed money for my own personal use, could you lend it to me?
Well, of course I could. It wouldn't be a loan either.
Then I can handle Laszlo.
Ada, you're not going to buy him off.
Oh, no, quite the contrary.
Now, listen, I would watch out for him. He'll lead you to believe that you're taking the advantage over him and then turn it against you.
Not this time.
Does he know that you're up here?
No, I didn't tell him where I was going.
Good. I don't want you to leave this room.
But I have things I have to do.
Well, they can wait. I think the main thing is that you stay away from Laszlo tonight.
You're frightening me.
I mean to frighten you. I think you're safer if you know the dangers that surround you.
What dangers?
Well, don't think he's going to give up so easily as that. He has a plan, I'm sure of that, to try to get back everything that he wants. And I'm going to find out what it is.
Oh, will I be safe alone?
I'll send Emily up to stay with you. Don't worry. And in the meantime, your father gave me this. It's sort of a good luck charm. You keep it.
What is it?
There are ashes in it. It's a sort of talisman against evil. Don't let it stray away from you. And I'll take care of Laszlo.
Did you lose something, Laszlo?
No, I was just stoking the fire. Why did you give that paper to Jean-Paul?
I thought he'd understand it better than I. Jean-Paul isn't sufficiently involved with his business responsibilities. I must talk to him about that.
He hardly knows anything about the Desmond business.
He can learn. He shouldn't allow outsiders to dominate his affairs.
You consider your son-in-law an outsider?
Don't worry about the future, Laszlo. A man of your unusual talents can always make his way.
I sense a hidden threat in what you're telling me.
Let's call it a warning. I want you to stop bedeviling my daughter to sign papers.
I will not be talked to that way.
You're in no position to decide how I talk to you.
That watch appears to be an antique.
It has served the Desmonds well.
Then it is an heirloom. I'd like to see it.
Some other time, perhaps. I have other things to do right now.
Hurry, light the candles.
The matches won't light.
Oh, what happened?
Well, that document has evil powers. I knew it.
Don't worry about the document.
How did you get in here?
The same way you did, my dear. I see you managed to locate the document for me.
Miss Blair had a copy of it.
Jean-Paul told me. Very clever of you, my dear. Now, as I remember, there are books here to explain it all.
Oh, no, I've looked through all of them.
Well, there was one here when I was a boy that dealt with a trial. Unless Benjamin's taken it with him.
Oh, no, I've read every book that's in this room, and not one of them says anything about the trial.
You have to know what you're looking for. Here it is. These are for my eyes only, and Raxel's. You shouldn't involve yourself in such things.
But I've got to know about the mark of death.
You already know far too much for your own safety.
But I'm trying to help.
You can help us in other ways. Go to Jean-Paul's room. Ada is there. Don't let any harm come to her. Do as I say, please.
What are you doing? Those are Miss Blair's papers.
They were out in the open. I was just interested in her work.
Well, if you're interested, why don't you ask her? You know, desperate men make foolish mistakes, Laszlo.
I am not desperate.
What happened to the threats and accusations you made against me yesterday?
I decided to forget them.
Oh, that's magnanimous of you.
I shall wait for a more propitious moment.
Well, time may be running out on you.
Time is running out for all of us. Wealth, position, safety can all go in a flash like that.
Yes, that's why we must make certain our accounts are taken into effect, such as the loose strings that one may leave behind to trip up on our survivors.
What does that mean?
It means, my dear Laszlo, that I'm thinking of finding another director for the Desmond factories, among other things.
You can't do that.
Yes, I can, and I'm only just beginning.
I'm sorry.
No, I was just surprised. I was daydreaming, I guess.
Your father sent me here to keep you company.
How did he know I was here?
Oh, Jean-Paul must have told him. Anyway, I'm here. We can go to your room if you prefer.
No, Jean-Paul wants me to stay here until he comes back.
Is anything the matter?
Oh, he thinks I'm in some kind of danger.
Your father said the same thing.
Oh, they both think I'm weak and can't protect myself. But they're wrong. I have Laszlo exactly where I want him. He's more frightened of me than I am of him.
You know, I don't mean to be personal, Mrs. Thaxton, but your husband has a habit of saying rather unpleasant things.
Well, you mustn't take him seriously.
He practically accused me of marrying Jean-Paul just for his money.
Why, he finds it hard to credit anyone with motives that he doesn't understand.
You don't seem to be too disturbed by it.
Well, he doesn't frighten me anymore.
Well, I'm afraid he does me. He made all kinds of hints about dreadful things that would happen to me because I'm marrying a Desmond.
What did he say?
Well, it's hard to know exactly what he's driving at, but he did make it very clear that I'm going to be a very young widow.
How dare he interfere with your life? How dare he go so far as...
Is something wrong with you?
No.
Between your behavior and the odd sounds coming from that picture, this place is beginning to seem like an asylum.
What sounds from the portrait?
I thought I heard a clock ticking from it when Julian Desmond left the room.
You've been working too hard. Anyone who begins hearing sounds coming from the wall is in time for a long, long vacation.
Oh, don't brush it off. You know very well this house... Well, I don't want to say haunted, but some very peculiar things happened here at Desmond Hall.
You know, you're an intelligent man, Laszlo. Surely it must occur to you that these peculiar sounds are taking place in your mind and no place else.
What is it? Who signed it?
Jean-Paul will be angry with me.
It was just an accident.
But he gave me those ashes to protect me.
Well, here, I'll help you pick them up. The most amazing thing just happened.
Leave us. I'll take care of her.
But you don't understand.
Ada will explain to me. Now, suppose you tell me what happened.
It was just simply terrible. I dropped the box on the floor and they all fell out.
Are these the ashes you're talking about?
But when I dropped it on the floor, they all fell out and flared up and then disappeared. Daddy, am I going mad? Is this the curse that's on the Desmonds? Madness? Hallucinations?
Don't worry yourself about those legends. Now. You've been under a big strain. Let me take you to your room.
But Jean-Paul said I have to stay here. That's why he gave me this box.
Well, then lie down here and rest. And keep the box with you. I'll go down and see Jean-Paul.
Have you seen Jean-Paul?
He's in there. If you care for your fiancée the way you say you do, tell him to stop playing the games he's playing, or he will be the late Jean-Paul Desmond.
Will you stop frightening everyone in this house? Isn't it enough that your wife is terrified? Will you just leave us alone?
Oh, Emily, I was looking for you earlier. I was wondering if you could take care of Ada. She's in my room.
I just came from there.
Well, she shouldn't be left alone.
Her father's with her. Jean-Paul, what was in that box you gave her?
Well, Julian said it was the ashes of an innocent man. Why do you ask?
The most amazing thing just happened. Ada dropped the box on the floor and the ashes fell out. Then they burst into flames and disappeared.
So that explains it.
Explains what?
Nothing at all.
What do you want?
I might ask you the same question.
I'm under no obligation to explain myself to you.
I will not tolerate your interference any longer. Stop coming between me and my wife.
She is also my daughter.
You forgot all about that when she really needed a father. Now you're turning her against the only man who's ever given her any happiness.
Ada told me about her, happiness, as you call it. I will do everything in my power to make sure she survives you. Come in, my boy. I've been expecting you. Ada, are you awake?
What is it?
Laszlo knows you're here. Let me take you to a much safer place. Come with me, my dear.
Now, Julian will stay with Ada. And we've got to look after Philip tonight.
Will the star appear again?
We have to assume that it will.
It's getting dark. We must prepare.
Emily, will you stay with Susan? Raxel will stay with Philip and Court.
Where will you be?
I have to be free to look after something else.
I don't like this place.
It's the safest place in Desmond Hall.
The last time I was here, the door locked itself behind me and then terrible things happened.
What sort of thing, my dear?
It was just like a nightmare. I heard voices. I thought I heard your voice.
Well, there have been times when I've tried to reach you.
And then Jean-Paul came, and he revived me. This room is evil.
Not unless you bring evil to it. Do you have the snuff box? Now listen to me carefully. If anything out of the ordinary happens, you take these ashes and rub them on your lips, like this.
What are those ashes?
Someone will be by your side.
What are they?
They are the last remains of a saintly man who gave his life for another. Now remember what I told you. You must have faith that these will help you. And night is upon us. We will survive it if we don't destroy ourselves with disbelief and suspicion.